your companion, your partner is like strangling you.
Mm,
Your partner that strangles you that chokes you is 10 times more likely to kill you. It's a felony.
it's a felony. Okay.
Yeah, it's a felony. It's impeding breath. And a lot of women don't realize the severity of that. To me, I weigh the strangulation, firearm.
Mm. Welcome to Voices Restored podcast, where we educate and empower and break the generational cycles of domestic violence through real conversations and real stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share to help raise awareness. Today, guys, we have a special guest with us. We have Sergeant August with us here with the Houston Police Department. Sergeant August, thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us about yourself, Sergeant August. How long have you been a police officer?
I've been on the department for 14 years. I promoted in 2023, and I've been a sergeant with the Family Violence Division since 2024.
Okay. So what do you guys do in the Family Violence Division? What does that department usually handle?
So we basically investigate family violence,
Hmm.
anything with domestic violence, elder abuse, children 15 years and up. And we typically have caseloads galore. We have more cases than we have
Yeah,
investigators, but we try to do our
unfortunately.
best.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're at the major police departments. So at the North, HPD North Station, West Side, Central, and Southeast. So there's a satellite in each part of the city.
Okay. And you each handle the specific sections or areas of the city of Houston?
Correct.
Okay. So is there any time where you guys cross areas or because it's too much of a load on one side of town and you guys have to pick up another side?
Honestly, it's rare. The city of Houston is just flooded with domestic violence, family
Mm.
violence cases. So each division is having its own
Yeah.
load to carry.
So about how many calls or cases do you guys typically get in a week, let's say?
So for calls for service, that's patrols. I wouldn't typically know
Mhm.
that it's a lot. It's a lot of domestic violence calls. So the typical officer is going to get one at least once or twice in their shift daily.
Wow.
Our detectives, we get constant walk-ins. So every day we're going to get multiple walk-ins. We have cases, like we come in on Mondays and there's hundreds of cases
Wow.
that's happened from Friday to Monday.
So
So
there's a
it's
surge
always
during the
happening.
weekend.
Yes. The weekend, holidays, yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
And why do you think that is? What's going on during the weekend specifically?
Honestly, I think it's the time off, right? The partner's not at work. You guys are together.
Spending more time together.
Alcohol always
Mhm.
plays a factor, drugs. So during the week, that person has to be up in the morning. They have to be responsible. On the weekend, they're all together. They're all, meshed together. So
Yeah.
tension seems to rise.
Yeah. And that happens also during the holiday seasons.
Yes.
There's a surge because you have more time off from work, maybe. Um, yeah.
Finances, especially during Christmas time.
Financial pressure. Yeah.
Right. So it just boils over, I guess you
Yeah.
could say.
Now, given the times that we're in right now with the economy,
Mhm.
there's a lot of people who have lost their jobs.
Mhm.
Are you seeing an uptick, especially now, even before the holiday season started, because of that?
No, so for right now in the city of Houston, we've seen a decrease in homicides, which leads to decreasing in family violence because family violence tends to lead to homicides. So it's been a small decrease for us. So we haven't really experienced the uptick as other cities, I'm sure, are experiencing.
Okay. And do you think the decrease in calls is due to people being concerned or afraid to call, or it's just that things are getting better in the city?
It's hard to tell.
Okay.
I couldn't answer that. I think just a lot of things are playing a part. Us
Mhm.
as a department, HPD, we've tried to put more, I guess, shed more light on the family violence and our resources and things that you could do.
Mhm.
And then we tried to put more patrol officers on the street. We're always low for patrol officers, but they've been trying and changing different shifts around.
Yes.
And then it could go to people are not reporting as much, or you don't know what the climate is right now in
Mhm.
Houston. So it's just hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. It's gonna
Mhm.
take some time to really
Yeah.
observe and see what it looks like in the near future.
Yes.
So let's talk about domestic violence.
Yeah.
What is domestic violence?
Well, funny enough, a lot of people don't realize what exactly family violence is or domestic violence, or
Mhm.
am I being abused? But it's mental, physical, sexual abuse from your partner. So just because your partner's not laying his hands on you, he's isolating you, if he's manipulating you, emotionally abusing you, threatening you, you're being abused.
Mhm.
And I don't think a lot of, especially women, understand that concept that I may not be physically abused, but sexually, he's forced me to have sex and I don't want to have sex. That's abuse,
Yes.
And so it's just so many layers that I don't think a lot of women are aware of, or a
Right.
lot of people, because it's been a lot of same sex that experience domestic
Yeah.
violence too.
So there's same sex, there's also women who are abused, but there's men who are abused as well.
Yes, and it's been an uptick with that.
So you're getting more calls now with that.
Yes,
I think that's really good
yes,
because I know there was a time where men were too ashamed to reach out to get help or report it.
hmm
And I mean, I'm sure it's still underreported with the amount of cases that occur with men being abused,
yes.
but I'm really glad to hear that men are reaching out more.
Yeah, more so than not, they're coming forward and, legitimately being abused. So, I know it used to be rather taboo, but in reality, it happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think the statistic is 1 in 7 men are generally abused or experience domestic violence,
Mhm.
and it's 1 in 4 women.
Mm, okay.
So the numbers are still pretty high,
Yeah.
and even for teens, it's 1 in 3 teens.
Yes, a lot of teenagers, again, I don't think they're aware that they're being abused
Mhm.
because, they're underdeveloped, they haven't
Right.
experienced the world yet. But a lot of teenagers are finding themselves in a domestic violence situation and not knowing what to do or who to turn to. It's like a secret. They'll tell a friend, and mom doesn't find out or dad doesn't find out until things have escalated.
Right.
Not wanting them to be on a cheer team or not wanting them to do after school activities, hang out with their
It's a
friends,
form of isolation and control.
control.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they may look at it as a cool thing because they are spending more time with the boyfriend or the girlfriend.
Love bombing.
Yes, love bombing, and they don't realize that these are all signs and red flags to look for.
Yes.
So, talking about teen dating violence awareness, right?
Mhm.
So, do you guys ever deal with any situations with teens? Are you getting any calls specifically dealing with domestic violence in teenagers?
So, with our family violence division, we do 15 years and up. Anything below
Okay.
15 years, they go to our child assessment center.
Mhm.
So we do get those. Lately, it's been I don't think people are aware that a lot of teens that have older boyfriends, it leads to different things, sex trafficking, and the pressure of if you loved me, you would have sex with him. So it's a lot of different avenues that this could go, but with teenagers, unfortunately, unless someone else is reporting, it's very rare that that 15-year-old herself is going to
Is
report.
reporting directly.
Yes, because
Yeah.
in her mind, this person loves her. The taking the phone and I'm going through your phone and
Right.
God forbid you liked somebody, or liked a picture, it's a fight.
Social media is a big problem right now.
It's
Yeah,
yes,
digital abuse,
it
all of the
happens.
above.
It happens constantly.
Yeah,
So, sadly, it's rare that the actual 15-year-old will report that. They're they're more so gonna report if mom and dad are abusing them
yeah.
before a partner.
So there is a difference between teen dating violence and domestic violence and
Yes.
intimate partner violence, right? So
So, domestic violence or family violence, it could be a roommate,
mhm,
it could be, a mother-in-law, father-in-law, it could be a grandparent. So it's a lot of different layers. We have this where it's new on old, not old on new. So if a
What is
new,
that?
it's called new on old,
You
new on old,
new
old on
on
new.
old. Okay.
So let's say my ex girlfriend abused my new girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
versus my new girlfriend abusing my ex
New
girlfriend.
on old on new.
Yes. Well, because
Okay.
a lot of times, especially a younger generation, this is my man, this is, this
Mm-hmm.
is my girl. And they end up assaulting the new partner. And it still has a level of family violence to it.
Right, right.
Teen the dating violence is, you know, a lot of teenagers take on roles that are so serious and they're just not prepared for yet. And they take on these responsibilities that they're just not mentally ready to handle. And instead of handling it or going to an adult, it spirals.
Mm.
So the teen dating violence, it's to me it kind of tugs because I have 4 kids. They're all grown now, but you don't realize you're in it until you're already deep into
You're deep
being
in it.
isolated. Your wardrobe has changed. You're no longer dressing, nice, girly. You're
Mhm.
dressing baggy clothes, his sweatshirts. It's just different.
So these are some of the signs parents can look for.
Yes. Well, these are signs that I think any family member or friend,
Mhm.
if your friend, whether it's male or female,
Mhm.
mostly females, right? Will change their wardrobe. But if they are suddenly used to always being in nice like attire and, love the it clothes, and now all of a sudden it's joggers, it's the baggy clothes, the hair's not getting
Just covering
done.
up themselves more.
Yes,
Okay.
and isolated. You guys used to talk all the time, and you guys would send memes to each other back and forth, and now all of a sudden she doesn't have time for that.
It's silent.
Yes, or the aggression. If your friend is not normally or your daughter is not normally irritable or,
Mhm.
and usually laughing and easygoing, and all of a sudden she's irritable or she's passive aggressive towards
Mhm.
you, it's a sign. It's a red flag that something
Something's
more is
going
going
on.
on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's okay to have these conversations too. Like
Yes.
instead of just letting things play out, have these conversations early enough so that these teens or your children are aware of the red flags. I think that's
Yes.
super important.
Transparency is a big part of just I think transparency should be a part of what everyone does, right? Especially when you're talking to your teens and your friends and your daughters. If you see something, or your sons, if you see something, just say something. It's okay to have that hard conversation. We don't have to agree, but we can love and respect what we're saying. And you just, start paying attention. There's things that if you see something with your loved one or friend,
Mhm.
you can report it. You can report it anonymously. Um,
So let's talk about that
yeah.
anonymous reporting. Let's say a neighbor, right,
Mhm.
is hearing something next door. They sense that their neighbor's in trouble,
Mhm.
or they know for sure there's some domestic violence going on.
Mhm.
What does that anonymous call look like if the neighbor calls?
So typically the neighbor calls, she will say, "I don't wanna be identified. I wanna be anonymous. Like, don't come to my
So
door."
do they have to say that?
They'll be asked, like,
Okay,
"What's your name?" I'm
you
not
don't want to say. Just say
right.
I don't want to share.
I don't wanna share.
Okay.
Um, when they get there, the officers will try to make the contact. The sad part about the anonymous,
Hmm.
reporting is, let's say that neighbor sees it, but she wants to remain anonymous. We can't knock on her door. We can't engage with her,
Okay.
and we can't make that door open unless to the abuser, right? Unless we hear that person's in imminent danger, we can't force them to open the door. So
Oh,
it's
so
a
even if you get a call,
yeah.
you go to the scene
Mhm.
or the home that you're thinking there's some type of abuse, right?
Mhm.
You knock on the door, ring the doorbell. If they don't open, there's nothing else you can do unless you're hearing something.
Unless we have reason to believe that she's in imminent danger, like we
Wow.
can hear it or like we look
Mhm.
through the window but if not, our hands are tied. The patrol officers are just kinda
Wow.
stuck. So a lot of times, even though the person wants to remain anonymous, and I totally understand that,
For
for their
safety.
safety,
Mhm.
um, depending on the situation, it'll stay right there. Like there's no further investigation.
Wow.
But there's hotlines that they can also call and report to, like, the National, Domestic
Domestic violence
Violence
hotline.
Hotline. Um, and then they can also come to the station and make a report. If they don't want the police officers to be at their home, they can always travel to their nearest station and make a report. If they have, like, a Ring camera and they see it, surveillance around their home and
Mhm.
they see it, this one person had a dash cam and picked it up.
And that could be used
Yes,
as
that's
evidence.
evidence because it's showing what's happening. Mhm.
So let's talk about, how what usually happens when you get a call for domestic violence.
Okay. Well, so patrol usually will get that calls for service, and immediately they're, if they determine that it's domestic violence and it's a serious bodily injury, they're going to contact family violence, and we'll send whoever's on call, our investigators who are on call.
Mhm.
But the scene is secure. The investigator has to make sure the scene is secure. If EMS is needed, like any medical attention, separate all parties, and then the investigation, right? Everything comes into play.
So do you usually go with one other officer, or is it you go alone? How does it
Depending on the severity of the scene.
Okay,
Normally, a scene can go with one investigator because we have patrol officers on scene as well.
gotcha.
But depending on the severity, if the complainant has been sent to the hospital or, we have different scenes to go to,
Yes.
different locations, then, of course, another investigator will go to the hospital. This person will take care of the scene,
Mhm.
and then you tackle your witnesses. So the most important thing is getting her to tell us what happened.
You separate both parties.
Everyone's separated.
Mhm.
Witnesses is separated,
Children,
um,
if there's children on scene.
separated.
Okay.
And if there's children on scene, were they present for it? Were they a part of it? And then at that point, CPS must be notified. That's our policy that we have to make a
Right.
CPS report.
Okay.
But depending on how she feels, um, a lot of victims, the stigma is, "Oh, they're not gonna believe me." The myth of, my line of work, if she's a midnight ballerina or whatever, if she's
Right.
has a criminal past, we're not gonna believe her, but not all victims are good complainants, right?
Mhm.
2 things can be true.
Mhm.
She could have a criminal past and still be a victim. So I think that's a myth. So just getting over that boundary because a lot of times they don't wanna talk to us, um, especially around other people.
Yeah,
Uh,
they wanna have a private conversation
yeah, so they can be vulnerable
because
and
there's a
be
lot of
themselves.
shame with that, embarrassment,
Yes.
um, but also when you get to the scene,
Mhm.
let's say there's no, visible bruises, anything that you can necessarily see to determine there was some type of physical altercation here.
So
What are some signs you look for?
so we're still gonna photograph. We take photographs whether there's visible injury or not to the location where the person say they feel pain.
Mhm.
So, a lot of times, especially with Black and brown, women, you won't see a bruise until a day later,
Right.
and then, they have instructions to send the photos in. But you're gonna look for the scene, like, was there signs of struggle?
Mhm.
How's her clothing? Is it ripped?
Mhm.
Is there blood anywhere? Witnesses, you're gonna canvass the scene. You're gonna ask neighbors, what did
Right.
you see? Is there surveillance cameras anywhere? We're gonna gather those up. Um, is there a history of family violence in the
Have you
home?
received calls before?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a history? And whether it was reported or not, a lot of women say, this isn't the first time he did it,
Mhm.
but I didn't report it, so then we need that information.
Okay.
So it's a lot that goes into it, but it all plays a part of it. Are there any firearms in the home, any
Mhm.
weapons? A lot of victims are unaware that you can give the weapons to us for safekeeping. It's not that we're confiscating them from you. It's just right now, it's volatile. Things are, emotions are high.
So the victim can tell even if it's not his or her weapons,
If it's in the home
as long as it's in the home.
and that person if it's the victim's weapon, sorry,
Okay.
then we can take
Okay.
possession of it and tag it and when they're ready. And we've had suspects do it as well. So we've told the suspect, hey, we just want to take it, safekeeping.
Yeah.
I know it didn't play a part, but just, for us, things are a little high right now. Just let us take it. And whenever you're ready, have your ID, come to the property room, good to go.
Okay.
And we've had suspects do that
Okay.
just to, like in good faith.
So when you have situations where you can't necessarily determine who was the aggressor,
Mm.
what usually happens? What's the protocol?
So I think the misconception is, and this sometimes plays a part in why women don't come forward
Mhm.
because they feel like, well, I fought back, so I'm a part of this.
Mm.
Um, you at that point, the investigator needs to use context clues, right? Who's the predominant aggressor? And then the suspect likes to say, the abuser likes to say, "Well, she cut me. She hurt me. Look at me, I'm bleeding." And then that makes her,
Right.
afraid. But why did she? How did you get here? Was she trying to defend herself? Was she trying to defend her child? Was she trying to get away? So you have to look at the totality of it.
Okay.
For HPD, we try really, really hard not to do a dual arrest. If for some reason there's just not enough evidence to support her story or his story,
Yeah.
then a supervisor have to come to the scene and make that decision. So a lot goes into that because we don't want to re-victimize the victim
Yes.
or have her lose faith.
That could be very traumatizing.
Yes. So a lot of times that would be like referred. Maybe we need to do this for further investigation, and then that would be assigned to an investigator to further
Okay.
investigate.
So, have you ever had moments where, okay, this you can't arrest neither
Hmm.
party, right? But you wanna separate them just for the night?
Hmm.
Have you had to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
It happens a lot.
A lot.
So you have options, and that's when it's like thinking outside of the box. What can I do? One need to leave for the night.
Yeah.
We can't leave you both here. Who's gonna leave? Pick one. Do you need a ride? We got you. Like, we always try to get a victim service advocate on the scene. We have what we call DART, where a victim service advocate rides with a patrol officer, and
Mhm.
it's every day. It's like from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And they come out, and it's a victim service advocate. She meets with the victim, offer whatever resources needed. So if she needs a hotel room for that night, if she needs shelter, temporary housing, funds, food, um, they'll walk them through it,
Through the process of
right
making
there.
sure they get what they need.
Mhm.
So, when you separate the individuals,
Mhm.
right, have you had a situation where they end up reconnecting that same night
Mhm.
after you separated them?
All the
And
time.
then you get a call back or
All the time.
okay.
All the
And then what
time.
do you usually do at that point?
At that point, like, it's not even at that point. You're just trying to take in what you have because there's so many different scenarios, right? You have the option to, if the district attorney won't take charges, or we just can't figure out if it's mutual combat or not, then it class C. Yeah, at that point, we're going to class C both of you. And really, once we start saying somebody's going to jail,
Mhm.
somebody finds somebody to pick them up really
Mm.
quick. And it's just all in the way that you deliver it.
Yeah.
And in that meantime, you're trying to make that connection with the person that's being abused. Hey, we're here. Like, this isn't the end of it. You can get an emergency order for protection. We have victim service advocates that will walk you through this entire process. Like, you're trying to make that connection to where they're like,
They can trust you.
yeah, you can follow
And
through.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that they can do it,
Mhm.
right? So, what do you feel like a victim would really understand or, just to open up their eyes to see that they can leave that situation?
I think there's a lot of reasons why a lot of women don't, right? Financial. That person's the
Financial abuse
bread,
is a big problem.
he's the breadwinner.
Yeah.
He turns your phone off or, take money out of your account. You can't have gas or just your basic necessities.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of things that I think it takes a woman, I think the average is 7
7
times.
times.
And a lot of women will downplay it and say, "Oh, well, he said he'll never do it again."
So when you get the cases and
Mhm,
you see the same case coming by through your desk again and again,
mhm.
what do you do with that particular individual? Like, how do you talk them through it for them to finally realize?
It's so hard to make a connection a lot of the times. They
Mhm.
don't wanna talk to you. We make multiple attempts, right? So, they call, send a text, send a copy of our business card, like, "Hey, we wanna talk to you." We go to the house. We talk to their emergency contact. We
Wow.
try to do a lot of different things to offer them, and we have victim service advocates calling them, mailing them packets of resources. Um, Unfortunately, at the end of the day, you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. Even if we arrest him, even if she doesn't wanna press charges and he goes to jail, a lot of times once it gets to court, it doesn't it's dismissed or it's gone for a lesser charge because she's recanting or, she's there. She's gonna be with him. He goes to
Mhm.
jail and he comes home, he's still with her, you
Mhm.
know? So a lot of times it's very disheartening to see, and you feel helpless because
Yeah.
it's like, what is the buzzword that I need to say to make the light go
For
on?
breakthrough, yeah.
Yeah, but, it really is gonna have to be on that person to make that
To
decision
make the
that I need
decision.
to get away, and a lot of times they don't even know if they need to or not, you know?
They don't realize how, dangerous it can get,
Yes.
because there's a lot of manipulation involved. The psychological abuse plays a big part in addition to the financial abuse that you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Psychological, manipulation, all of those tactics, they work.
Yes, the
They work.
self-worth
Yeah.
goes away,
Mhm.
they deserve it. It all plays a part, and I just say, if you don't know if you're being abused, there's a free assessment. You go online, "Am I being abused?" And a lot of times, they're asking you questions, and you're like, "I didn't know." And I had a complainant, I was like, "Hey, just try it, just you tell me." And she was like, "I didn't know." Um, I One of my officers had talked to her, did the full investigation, she never once said, "Oh, I was raped." In her mind, he forced her to have sex, but they're in a committed relationship, and that's not abuse. And it took us to say, "You you were raped, that's sexual abuse."
Yeah.
A lot of them just it just doesn't connect.
It doesn't connect
No.
because you think you're in a relationship with someone, but if no is like, if you said no, no means no.
No, me, no.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that goes for boyfriend, girlfriend, that goes for married couples as well, right? So,
Anyone. Anyone in any kind of relationship.
yeah.
If you say no, then that it's no.
So even leading up to the physical abuse aspect,
Mhm.
there's other signs and red flags because obviously someone can't necessarily get arrested for the verbal abuse unless it's a threat involved.
And harassment, uh-huh.
But there's other signs like the name calling, the emotional abuse, right? The
Mhm.
constant cheating, the control, the isolation that you talked about. What are some cases that you've had to tackle and you thought, man, this person could have realized this sooner?
Yeah. I mean, I think what people don't realize is that when you're in an abusive relationship, and we go back to the 7 times before a woman leaves, if again, if your companion, your partner is, like, strangling you,
Mm,
your partner that strangles you is that chokes you is 10 times more likely to kill you. It's a felony.
it's a felony. Okay.
Yeah, it's a felony. It's impeding breath, and a lot of women don't realize the severity of that. Um, to me, I weigh the strangulation, firearm,
Mm-hmm.
all weapons are all to me the same. Because if
Mm-hmm.
someone's willing to strangle you, they're willing to kill you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a few more seconds between life and death.
Yeah.
And so, there was one case, and it really stuck with me, a woman, and they had a history of family violence. It was just always her calling, but I don't wanna prosecute. I don't wanna press charges. I don't It was no evidence. It was just her just saying, "I just want him to leave."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and unfortunately, she's not here today. She did not make it out.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it started out as a family violence, and it ended up being a homicide. She didn't make it. He ended up stabbing her, and I can't remember how many times, but it was a lot of times.
Mm,
So, anything could be when someone is that unstable, right, or that evil to
mm-hmm.
abuse you, anything could trigger that person. It's like you're walking on eggshells, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one minute it's a threat, and the next minute he's followed through with it. You just never know.
So you have to take the threat seriously.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter if they're telling you, I love you under one breath, and then the next sentence is, I'm going to kill you.
No.
You have to take it seriously.
Love equals action. And a person that loves you is not gonna threaten to hurt you. A person that loves you is not gonna call you out your name, demean you, isolate you, not want you to be happy, not want you to grow. And there's different levels of abuse, right? So if that person is manipulating you, I think what people don't realize is that as easy as it is for them to threaten to kill you, they can attempt to kill you. A good person is not gonna threaten that, no matter how angry a person's get. If they're threatening you and threatening your life, or it's there's no who does that,
Right.
right? Who wants
In
to
their right
demean you?
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, who wants to demean you? And, and then things escalate, right? Because if he's abusing you, and then he's gonna grow and to abuse your children. It always spreads,
Yeah.
you know?
Even if they're not necessarily abusing the children at that very moment, the
Yes,
physical abuse or the pets, right?
it grows.
It can
Mhm,
escalate to that, but also the children are witnessing the
mhm,
abuse. I know that that was one of the reasons why I decided to leave my abusive relationship was I had a child.
yeah,
And at 3 years old, I know that they tend to remember very traumatic events, right?
yes,
So I said, you know what? I don't want him to think this is okay. I don't want him to think that this is normal. And so
mhm,
I made a decision to leave. I didn't want him to become an abuser or become a victim of abuse through learned behavior.
exactly,
And that's how the generational cycle continues.
and we have to break that
Yeah,
curse.
we have to. And so even if you don't have the willpower or the understanding of how beautiful you are, how worthy you are, the self-confidence that you need to
Mm,
understand that you're worth more than this, do it for your children.
right,
Do it for your children.
because they can't fight for themselves.
Right.
So if you can't pour into yourself just yet, because there's counseling and things to get you there. There are
Yes.
resources. If you can't just pour in yourself just yet, just think about you're the only person that can pour into your child.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And so if we have someone who is watching today,
Uh-huh.
what would you tell them if they are currently in a domestic violence relationship? What would you tell them right now?
Oh gosh. And they don't know what to do.
And they don't know what to do.
I would definitely, depending on your resources, I would definitely go to the National Domestic Violence online um, website. It's free. It clears your browser history because most abusers check your browser history. So it will automatically clear your browser history. And there's links of all resources that will help you. If you need funding to leave, if you need help with your children, childcare, if you need help with your finances or women's shelters, where they're there and at no cost. Additionally, have a little hope in law enforcement and know that our family violence division will do everything that we can to protect you as best we can and to get those charges filed as fast as we can. There's always an emergency order of protection. It's good for 60 to 90 days. Um, there's resources, there's people out there that will help you. And I think that's important
It's important to know
that you're
that.
not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that people understand that you guys are here to support them
Yes.
and that you have their back.
Yes. We are very aware of how hard it is when someone is experiencing abuse. And our job is to do everything that we can to put that person in jail, to get charges, to get it documented so that she never has to deal with it again. So that's our job. Let us do it. Help us do it. We can. Yeah, I always say that there's always somebody out there willing to help you, no matter what time it is. Mhm.
You talked about restraining order or protective order. What is the difference between the two?
So we do protective orders. Protective orders. So the initial, right? Let's say the patrol officer goes out, it's fresh, it just happened, he goes to jail. The magistrate gives an emergency order of protection. It's good for 60, and then you can get it extended to 90 days. And then it's the abuse, the victims, it's it's their job
Mhm.
to follow up before that 90-day window with the courts to get the actual protective order. And that's where our victim service advocates come in handy because they walk them through the entire
They
process.
hold their hand.
Hold their hand. They
Okay.
hold their hand through the entire through the entire criminal justice process. So the court proceedings, everything, they hold their hand.
Okay.
And that's where they can't contact you, can't come within 200 feet, can't go to the school where your children are. Your children can be listed in the protective order as well. Um, they can't call you. They can't have a third party call you. They can't send you messages on social media. So it just gives you a little bit of, your power back so that we can get through this process and
Right.
keep you safe.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it is National Stalking Awareness Month or something like that.
Is it?
I think I read that somewhere. But
Is it?
you talked about the protective order
Mhm.
and let's talk about stalking for a
Okay.
second because stalking also includes harassment via text messaging and social
Yes,
media too, right?
it does. Stalking and harassment, it's I tell everybody those are the flags of something it's leading towards something. Like
Yeah.
they're doing this to do something,
Mhm.
or to get something out of it. It's not just he's not gonna wake up one day and just say, "Oh, I don't care where she is."
Mhm.
It doesn't work that way. Something happens for them to stop. And that's usually, sadly,
Yeah.
someone gets hurt or someone goes to jail or, you know. So this harassment, it can happen in a lot of ways. You tell them to stop. The immediate, you must tell them to stop, and you can't engage. So no engaging of that conversation. It's stop. So you have to show that you did not want that
That
interaction.
interaction. And that includes showing up in places that you happen to be in.
So that's stalking.
Okay.
So with the stalking, and that's becoming more and more relevant lately because, like, we have the tracking devices, the
Mm.
Apple AirTags, and they have AirTags on Amazon now.
Even when you post things on social media, there's certain settings, from what I understand, that you have to correct.
Yes, they can see where you're located. If you post a picture, they see when the picture was located.
Mhm.
So that's stalking, where there's no way you never publicly announced where you would be, and you never told him where you would be, and then he's there, or he's
Mhm.
alluding to what you're doing. Um, that, are the phone calls, the
Mhm.
repeated phone calls, repeated text messages, the threat of posting intimate photos or, things like that.
Yeah.
It grows, or if you don't talk to me, I'm gonna post this, or I'm gonna show this. Those are all, like,
Yeah.
harassment and stalking. You just
Methods.
have to show that it's occurring, like, you
Yeah.
document.
So keep records of everything.
Keep records. Like, the best thing I tell anyone to do, don't delete any interaction, screenshot everything, send it to you, send it to someone you trust as a backup. Keep records of everything. Your photos, if you take photos of your injuries, if you record it. A lot of women, when they get tired and they're like, I'm going through with this, they'll start recording them acting like, because they already know what's coming.
Yeah.
And, I always say, send it to someone that it can't just be deleted off your phone,
Right.
So those text messages, those him showing up in places, get a picture of his license plate, or,
Yeah. Even if you're not ready to make that call just
because you
yet.
never know.
Yeah.
Yep,
You never know when you need it.
you never know, and just save it. Just save it.
Because if you don't have that information, it'll be your word against the one who causes harm, right?
Yes.
So it's so important for us to document,
Yeah, and they have a way of changing stories and making you look
right?
crazy, and you're, like, thinking that you're crazy, and I'm like, "Are you making me second guess myself,
But
man?"
you've seen it all, I'm sure.
Yes, yes, I hear it and I'm like, "Is he that doesn't sound right."
Yeah.
Okay,
And sometimes they think that they've got you right where they want you. What was one of the craziest stories that you've experienced?
In, family violence?
Yes.
Oh god. I think every day, my poor office, they think I'm crazy. I think every day is a crazy day. Um, let's see. Not I I'm trying to say something that's general
Okay.
of a crazy story. I do have one. There was a man.
Hmm.
This is a same sex,
Okay.
and same sex couple. There was a man. He came in. He was very serious. He had been abused, and I mean, he had me. He had me good. I thought
Wow.
he was like had scratches. He had me good. I was very. I bought
You were
into it.
bought into the
I
story.
bought into it. I was like,
Wow.
"This poor guy. What are we gonna do? This guy won't leave him alone. He's being harassed. I'm taking this case. I'm gonna investigate it."
Yeah.
Instead of assigning it out, I was like, "I got this." Um, yeah, he was definitely the abuser.
Wow.
I got bamboozled on that
Wow.
one.
He told a good story
He
then.
told a very, very good story and had the scratches
So
and
did he bruise himself like, did he beat himself up?
not to divulge so
Okay.
much, it was not self-inflicted, but it was very much the other
Wow.
way. The guy was, like, very much trying to get away. It was self-defense.
That's
So,
terrible.
I very much got hoodwinked on that one. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh man."
So that's so crazy because it makes it harder for the actual victims
Yes.
too. As officers, you really have to pay attention to every little detail
Yes.
when you're on site or if someone comes to you and say they're being abused because you get lied to sometimes or a lot of times, unfortunately.
My rule of thumb is we are fact finders. Our
Mm,
job is to collect all the facts. Whether it makes the victim look bad, the suspect look bad, that's not our call to make. If it's the facts to this incident,
mhm.
it's our job to collect all of it and present it to the district attorney. And
Let
you
them
want,
make yeah,
yeah. Do we do charges? Are there charges? A
yeah,
warrant. But our job is to collect all the facts, even when there's like, I don't know if this is true or not, but
yeah,
he's saying it or she's saying
right.
it. I don't have any evidence, but she's saying it. Like we have to.
So when a victim is trying to recant his or her story, at that point, does the district attorney make the decision to continue with the case regardless if they try to back out?
Yes. So when we get assigned a case, we have to investigate it, whether they want to prosecute or not. We
Mhm.
have to finish our full investigation. So we're still going to collect as many facts as we can, of course, without their
Yeah.
participation. And then we present it to the district attorney. And the district attorney. Now, the issue is there's a time frame, right, between
Mhm.
us filing that charge and then the perpetrator actually going to court. So in between that month, 2 months,
Mm.
that
It takes
it
time.
takes
That
time, right? That
mhm.
he's out, she's out, or he's on bond,
Yeah.
and the love bombing starts, or I promise I'll never do it again, or the
Apology.
retaliation, it's
Mhm.
if you do this, you're not gonna have
The
any
fear
money, you're gonna have
tactics.
this. So
Yeah.
we fight against that. We race against that every day, every investigation
Yeah.
of them recanting because either the love bombing or the retaliation,
Right.
the fear. Yeah.
But it sounds like you guys are doing your jobs and you're doing a great job at it, doing it well,
Thank you.
trying your best to just get some resolve and justice for the victims of domestic violence.
Thank you.
But also on the flip side, the one who causes harm, I'm sure you guys want to get them help as well.
Yes.
So what do you want to say to the perpetrators or the ones who cause harm?
You
And then
know
we'll close out with that.
okay. Well, we're all human and we don't get to pick and choose, right? Our upbringing, but we do pick and choose how we live our lives as adults. And with that comes resources, whether it's counseling, anger management, rehabilitation. There are things that they're offered to you just as much as there's things that are offered to the victim. So I challenge everyone that are in the position of taking advantage of their significant other or their partner to do better. There's resources out there to get you the help that you need to stop.
Thank you so much, Sergeant
You're
August.
welcome.
It
Thank you for
was a
having me.
pleasure having you. I learned a lot today.
Oh, great.
And I'm sure our audience learned a lot today. Thank you for joining us on Voices Restored. We will see you next time.